certification, and then finally go to get that 50% of offer from us and clear that certification. So yeah, so I really appreciate again. So let us go with today's agenda. So if you are first time attending here, I will tell a little bit about myself and my company, and we will jump into straight away to Automation Hub, which is one of the most important topic for your ABA certification. So I'm a UiPath community MVP since 2020. And I have been certified in most of the certifications, foundation, advanced, and UI ABA certification as well. Author of a book for UiPath Associate certification. And I work for To Automate Anything. So our main service is intelligent robotic process automation, along with a couple of other services related to RPA. And we are a proud partner with UiPath. So before we jump into Automation Hub, so we all know about the UiPath Automation platform, which we have looking for the past 3 sessions. So the main thing is that discover. So that is the fundamental of the UiPath Automation platform, where we have multiple tools like process mining, task mining, communication mining, and idea capture and management. So along with Automation Hub as well in the discovery phase. So why we need the discovery phase? So we need to know what process we can automate and how effectively we can automate. Because only the UiPath Studio and Orchestrator is not that only component. We have multiple tools. Commonly we call this as the UiPath Automation platform. So we need to be aware of each and every tools. So as a RPA business analyst, we need to be aware of all these tools to go through and understand this automation requirement with the various stakeholders, and then successfully document that in the Automation Hub using various other tools, so that we can successfully implement UiPath automation solutions. Right. So it is a combined effort, not just a development effort. So even if you have the best developer in the world in your team, still we cannot automate, because we need many other stakeholders here, as like business analysts and who perform this business analysis and more analysis of what can be automated or what cannot be automated. So that is more important. So even that is not complete, even if you have the best analyst and the best developer, but still someone has to approve the automation. So it's a combined team effort, so that we can achieve the automation end to end. So someone can ask me that, without Automation Hub, is it possible for us to automate and go with the delivery of the entire automation cycle? Yes, of course, it is possible, but there are a lot of disadvantages in that, because we cannot track it properly, and there is no dashboard, and we cannot prioritize the automation. So we lost track, and we don't get that effective result. So that this tool plays a vital role in our entire automation journey. Right. So that is why we put this Automation Hub as the center of the automation, because it capture, manage all the automation opportunities, and we have the option to prioritize which automation needs to be done, because it flows from different areas. So manually you can track this automation in the hub, and it flows through process mining, which we saw in the previous sessions, process mining and task mining. So if you did not attend the previous sessions, I recommend you to go through those recording and understand that even much better about task mining and process mining. So we have option to submit the automation ideas, right? Ideas we have option to submit, so it flows directly through Automation Hub. And once it flows through Automation Hub, then we can prioritize and perform the automation, so that we get that complete end-to-end automation lifecycle, which will be very much visible in that Automation Hub itself. So that's why you need to go through that one. And there are also many other advantages in the Automation Hub, which we will looking into that. So before that, we need to understand what are the challenges the organizations generally face during this Automation Hub. Right. So there are even multiple challenges in the automation. So first of all, there is no organized way. So if you are not using Automation Hub, you are either using in the email or you are using in an Excel, right? So this may not be visible to some other team. So in an enterprise, there is not just one team, but there will be multiple tens and hundreds of teams sitting in a different verticals and horizontals. So which means there are many ideas flowing in the entire organization, right? So in the organization, everybody have a automation idea. So it is not only dedicated to the center of excellence team, but it belongs to each and everyone. So even a business user who is using the systems on daily basis have some automation idea. So we cannot neglect the importance of human at any point of time. So to involve them, so we need to engage each and every resource here to contribute ideas using the automation hub. So we have option to add all these resources or give access to automation hub. So whenever a resource feels that they have a good automation idea, or just very basic idea, they are not sure whether this is an automation idea or not, still it is all worth to be documented in automation hub, so everybody have a power or an option to submit their ideas in automation hub. So this is way more organized, and we can manage these ideas in automation hub. And why it is a problem, because it is impossible to keep all the changes in the Excel file, right? Because there will be memory issues, and you cannot have everything in a folder, or because you cannot give access to each and everybody to Excel file or the folder. So that is the main challenge, or the main impact of the first challenge I talk about. So at times, there are lack of programmatic approach to calculate the impact and prioritize backlog, because we don't know which is more important. There might be 10 ideas there, and we are not sure which ideas to automate. Oh, sorry. Are you able to hear me now?
We are able to hear you, Rajneesh.
Oh, okay, excellent. Because somebody's told that there is an issue with the audio, so okay. Right. So there are lack of we cannot prioritize if you are using in the Excel or the folder. But if you are using automation hub, then there are we can easily prioritize, and we know that what automation we can do it first, right? So at times there are not much visibility to the entire organization. So there are some other team sitting in another verticals or horizontals, not sure what's going on in the organization. So putting in this your automation idea in the automation hub gives clear visibility to each and everyone in the organization. So we can take informed decisions, and it is really useful for sharing the visibility across all the stakeholders. And also it is very easy to get that approval for our project, right? So because I told it is multiple decisions, not only the COE team, someone need to approve. So having all this information in the automation hub, so gives us a dashboard and shows what is the ROI. So usually we talk about ROI. What is ROI? It is return of investment. So we know how much time we are going to save and how much money we are going to save. So if the one person who is approving, so if he or she knows the amount of time we are going to save, it is easy to approve. And there are many more challenges that we are when we are not using the automation hub. So there are multiple challenges as well. And RPA adoption across the entire organization. When you are involving everybody, as I told, we have an opportunity to identify what automation is worth doing it, right? So we involve everybody, and also it is highly transparent to everyone, and it is a pipeline. So you add all the developers together, and you can give access to your managers, your developers, and everybody have access to this one. And we have an option to see the ROI, because it has a ROI calculator. So we no need to manually calculate. So it itself has a inbuilt AI that calculates, depends on the volume and the time and everything, and it predicts you how much ROI we are going to save. Right, so that is why we are able to measure and track the performance. We have the performance dashboard, But if you are not using it, measuring using the Excel is going to be a really tedious job. So we have a dashboard and it shows, how much time we save and when it is going to be delivered. So everything, it is there, and it is also centralized as well. So which means, you don't need to have this documentation in your SharePoint or your email or your folder. You can upload all your important documentation within the hub, automation hub, and everybody have access to upload and access these documents who are on a part of that project. So which is quite easy and handy to use this UiPath Automation Hub. And there are also reusable components repository. So we have a marketplace within this automation hub, where internally you can have multiple automation ideas, and once that is implemented, so whoever want to access those components, they get that, so that it can be automated. Even citizen developers can have their ideas automated and run it in their own desktop as an attended robot as well, right? So we have reusable components repository. So these are the main challenges, and how we convert these challenges into the futures as well, right? So as I told, it is centralized management. So ideas, we are converted into automation using automation hub, and how we collect ideas by giving access. Everybody has the power to submit ideas. So once we have a strong business case, that the more amount of time or cost you are going to save to the organization, so those gets the highest priority and get automated and get the centralized visibility and control as well. And everybody knows, which automation is done by this UAE team and how much is going to save. So which means it is going to support the entire organization and also encourage each and every resource to come up with ideas or contribute to the ideas, and that is how it works, right? So if we are one specific team is automating, and when they don't have visibility to the entire organization, so nobody is interested to contribute. But this way, you get a better centralized management, and effective prioritization, which means depends on the KPIs, so we can evaluate the opportunities that matters the most, so that has the strongest business impact. So we can select those automation ideas and then implement. So these ideas will go through a life cycle of statuses, and before from starting when you submit an idea and until the solution goes to the production, so it goes through an entire life cycle, right? So that I will show in a demo of how we use this automation hub and how we submit ideas, right? So we have different options like calculator, graphs, and dashboard. So that is why it helps to identify the best ROI, right? And reporting wise, there are multiple reports available, and using those reports, we can get like performance based report, or if you want which automation is going first, you can have the planning based report or cost based report, so that you can get a better view of how the automation is going to look like, and how it is going to be delivered in the production. Okay. So before I jump onto the demo, let me also discuss, how you identify, the automation idea, right? So for this, I need to revisit the previous sessions that I have taken. So which we need to see whether the steps that you are performing for your automation is repeated, and it has a standard input. By standard input, I mean it comes through email or comes through Excel files, and that inputs are really standard inputs, and it is the most repeated as well, and it is more important to your organization, right? So in those kind of if you are doing such process, then it is worth automating. So you submit that idea into the automation hub. So let me walk through one specific Just hold on one moment. Let me bring files. Yeah, so if you see this application, so this is the standard sample demo application we use. And this input comes from an Excel, so which I will show in a moment. So if you find the same kind of input coming from an Excel on a daily basis, or if it is coming through an email or any other sources, and you have so many data available here, so all this data are supposed to be input in that specific application. So which means there is an input, and this comes from an input file or a folder, and this kind of transactions, we call that as a transaction. So this is kind of a repeated work. So if you come across any similar work, either a click or you copy pasting information, or you are dealing with any kind of applications, API applications or desktop application, if you are doing the same task again and again, then note it down, and we can submit your idea in the automation hub. So here you need to enter some information, and so somebody is doing this same work again and again, so they need to copy this transaction ID, and just click on the accept and enter the next transaction. So this, they are doing it again and again, so we can submit this idea into the automation hub. So first you need to log into UiPath Cloud, and so as same like process mining and task mining, so you also can give access to automation hub. So if you give automation hub, you can see that displayed here in your main menu. Otherwise you need to go to your admin and go to the accounts and groups or services to give this access. So here, you once you give the access, it will be here. You can make sure you have the access. So I have it here. So if it is at times, if it is disabled, you can click on enable to enable, or so that it shows in your tenants. So it is all managed by tenants, and within the tenant you can add all the users, and you can give accesses to this automation hub. So I'm now launching the automation hub. Once I get the access, okay, so here you can see all these ideas are already here, any idea already submitted. You can see it in the main page. At times, it is not displayed, so you can go to the click on the workspace, and you can see the automation pipeline and see what are the ideas that implemented and automated. So if there is no ideas already implemented, you have option to submit an idea. So you can see, there are a lot of ideas here with some, it goes through different stages. So initially it will go through a review, and from the review it will go to the decision pipeline, implementation, and live. So the first basic step is you need to click on the submit idea, and you have multiple options to submit idea. So one is the COE driven idea. So if you have kind of a process admin access, or kind of a admin access, you can submit, or you are part of the COE team, then you can submit the COE driven idea. Otherwise, just click and submit idea. Right. So if you're a business user or a citizen developer, so you can submit this one. So, in your company might have different business area or department. So you can create this, or you can select this based on which department you are performing this idea. So here I say IT, and develop and maintain IT solutions. So this is the one. So if you are an employee driven idea, if you don't have access to the COE, or you are not an admin, then you can submit the employee driven idea. Basically anyone in the company, they are able to submit this if they have access to the automation hub. Otherwise, you can submit the COE driven, or if you're a citizen developer, you can use citizen developer automation. Right. So this time, I go with the COE driven idea. So this is the deposit transaction. Automation name is deposit transaction, and you can give the description as you enter the cash values into the application. The data comes from Excel. So you have one description there, and you need to have some pain points there. So you need to discuss with the business stakeholders and understand what are the problems they are facing. Or this question is why we need to perform this automation, why not manually. So manually performing takes more time, right? Takes more time and efforts, and delaying the customer service. Right. So negative impact, customer may not return. And you have different detailed assessment. So if you're a COE driven idea, so you basically know more about the process because you already discussed with the business stakeholders, and each and every input. So for what we are looking in this, so it is the productivity, or you are going to improve the cost or the quality. So here I put productivity, and if you have any comments, you can enter there. And environment stability. So you want to ask if there is any major changes in the next 6 months, because if there is more changes, there is no point in automating this idea. Right. So we are not expecting any change, but minor changes are still accepted. So I put the minor changes are still expected. And this is more about the employee profile. So in your company, how many days an employee work in a year? So for example, I put it to 20 days, and in a day, like he perform 8 hours per day. But you can slightly vary this one, depends on how your company operates. And average employee full cost. So let me put it as 85. Okay. And now it's the important thing. It is to mainly calculate the ROI. So you need to know what is the task about and how frequently this process is automated. So you need to say that is it on daily basis the employee or work on this, or is it a weekly basis? So depends on the process you can give. So I give this on daily basis. So what is the volume? So the transaction is every day, at least 100 transactions, and there is one employee performing this operation, right? And for one transaction, it takes at least for me 2 minutes to copy from this Excel, and so I put it as 5 minutes to perform one transaction. And at times, your application may come across some errors, right? So if 5% of them going into the error, and if you need some rework time on that to correcting your Excel or sending emails, correcting your emails or anything, so you need some time for that as well. So I add some time as well on that, right? So if it is any other work to be reviewed or audited, so you can add those as well. So I put like just 1% of that work, and how much time it takes. Maybe I say 5 minutes of that time. So when I enter, right, so it is automatically already calculated. So in a year, we are going to save around 2,000 hours per year. So which means there is a huge cost savings. So around 100K we are going to save if you are going to go ahead with this automation, right? So there are other input, like every solution, like it is not just one way to automate. There are a number of ways we can do this automation, and at times you need to this is mainly for scalability, right? So how many number of robots you need to involve. So at times you have millions of transactions. One robot is not enough to perform those transactions. So you say it is regular, or if there is any peaks, you need to mention that. Depends on your process and how many number of steps. So this is mainly to predict how complex this automation is. So I say this is a easy automation, so it is less than 20 steps. Right? So if it is less than 20 steps, it will take less than 1 week to complete the entire process. Right? So number of ways to complete the process. So I say it is completed the same way, or if it is greater than 2 and less than 5. So how many type you can do this process. Right, so you can read the data through a file or your Excel file or your email or any other folder. So there are different ways the input may come from. So that is what this is. So this is mainly to detect how many different scenarios are there. Right. So they here for simplicity, I put it as process is completed the same way every time. And it asks about the data input, because this is to calculate how easy it is to automate. So whether it is a standard input or a non-standard input. So standard input are easily readable by the robots, comes through in the way of documents or emails, right? So I put 100% of the time this one comes from the Excel file, so I put 100%. But if your automation solution, you are having some documents, especially the scanned documents or images which you cannot read, so those are not 100% digital. It is scanned documents. It's a non-standard or unstructured documents. Maybe you can reduce the percentage, like 50% or 20%. It depends on how your solution. And scanned data, no, I put there is no scanned data here. And percentage of structured is, I say greater than 80% of it is structured. And you can add all the applications here. So your organization or enterprise will give you all the internal applications that are used, like SAP or Salesforce, SAP, or any other application that you are using. So you can select that. So here just I am selecting for sample data, I put select it as UiPath. but you can add Word document or anything that you have, right? So already you can see there is this automation is 99% potential automation, and it is easy to implement because the steps are quite easy and it is very standard input. And if you see the ROI, the benefits per year, it is a huge one. And so definitely we can prioritize this, but at this point of time we are only submitting the ideas. And finally we need to click the process owner, depends on who the owner is, who is going to automate. And we just click on submit, and it will validate. And if you did not give any fields properly, it will ask you to enter those information. So here I have missed something. Yeah. So I need to say, per employee, it is 100. So in the volume, it is 100 per employee. So I did not select that drop down. So it asked me to select that. So now I click on submit. Let's see, it will validate and assess all the information. And then it is asking, are you sure you want to submit? Yes, I want to submit it. Okay, so it says awaiting review. So if you are as an employee submit this, and it will go through someone for approval. Mostly your process manager, or center of excellence lead, or anyone, your department head. Depends on the workflow that is configured. It will go for them for an approval, and they will review your automation idea. So very similarly, there will be hundreds of ideas coming into this automation hub, and all the ideas will be reviewed there. And if they are rejecting the ideas, they need to give the comments why it is not automated, and why it is not. So this automation, as as I am a process manager, I'm just going to review this idea and seeing what is the description and the pain points. Especially I'm going to see how much it's going to save. If I am a process lead, I'm going to see what is this cost that I will be able to save. And here you can see the KPIs, the assessment KPI, and it is showing me it is very good, because it's 99% potential and it's going to save a lot of money to my organization. So why not we automate this? So I just like this inputs, and I just want to approve this idea on a priority basis. So first thing I do is, from assessment awaiting review, I just want to change to qualification awaiting review. So it is the next step. So where we actually do the feasibility study, because this is just an idea that is submitted. So at this point of time, I'm not sure whether the UiPath can automate all this requirement. So there will be more feasibility study that needs to be conducted on all the application they submit, and see if it can be automated or cannot be automated, right? So at this moment of time, it will be with me, and it is a COE driven idea. So what I say is, we say, okay, now I use some developer or the COE team will be involved in that, and they assess the suitability of this application and say, yes, UiPath is highly compatible to automate all this requirement, and all the feasibility study has been passed. So I'm happy to move it to the next stage. So at this stage, your approver will go to, okay, the qualification is passed, it is approved, and it is all good to submit for automation, right? So I'm just going to approve this automation. So at the back end, it will all trigger an email within your team. So it will send that something one of the idea has been submitted, and the qualification is approved. So this thing kind of emails will go through, right? So at this stage, so once the qualification is approved, so you need to see where the priority stands, right? So only depends on the priority of the idea, then we can go and automate. So there is a field in this, so where there is an option to select the priority. So here is the priority field. So we need to select the priority, because there will be 10 or 100 different automation if you take us an enterprise, and we don't know which one to automate, right? So if it is the highest ROI, then I want to give that priority first. Or those ideas that is making the most impact to the organization, I want to give the priority one. So depends on what priority I choose as a process owner, so that will be automated first. So here, I want this to be automated soon. So I give a priority one and give it submitted. So this will trigger and go to the pipeline. So where it will, the automation will actually start in this phase. So now the ideation has been completed, ideation and assessment has been completed. So now it needs to go to the development, right? So implementation phase. So implementation, as you know, we have already discussed all the PDD development, the solution design development, the workflow development, and the UAT and everything will be conducted there. So in our first session we have discussed about that. So it will go through the entire development. And you also have options to attach your documentation. So in the documentation section, so you can, if there are multiple documents, so we know task capture as well. You will be able to capture the task, right, and create a document. Otherwise, you can create the documentation like process design document and solution design document, or any other documents you will be able to upload here. And you also have option to add all the collaborators. So your team members, COE team, everybody, you have access um, to add here, right? So it will go through the development phase and testing phase, and once it is done, you can update your statuses here based on where it is. And finally, once all the development, testing, and review has been completed, so it will go live. So this will go through the automatically. So a developer will be able to submit their solution also here. So it is all in the pipeline, so that it will change it automatically, right? So but at times you want to change to certain status, then you will be able to do that. So I need to choose what's in the status. So it is in progress. So I can say, because it is submitted to the automation team to develop the solution. So now the solution design in progress. So once all the is done, it will go through in the live, and we uh, get the full benefit of this automation, right? So this is what I want to show, right? So I think that takes me to the end of this session. But if you have any specific questions, you can ask now, because there are we are also going to talk about certifications in more detail. I will be giving to Divyansh to talk more about that. But we can have some time to discuss on any questions you may have now. Sorry, just now going through. Ash, can we use task capture to submit idea in Automation Hub? Yes, Ash, we can do, but we need to use not from task capture. We are not able to submit idea, but from Automation Hub you can document task capture. So when you click on the option task capture, it will automatically open if a task capture is installed in that machine, and you can capture the documentation. So what has not been discussed in ROI is cost of implementation, cost of running to give total benefits. Malcolm Slater, would you please explain that? Okay.
Hey, Rajneesh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, so the automation hub that you've captured has captured sort of the benefit of the automation and the value that can be realized from that. But depending on the structure as to how you implement these things, there's obviously a team that implements and then a team that supports and runs these automations. I'm just not sure whether this captures in this aspect of it.
Yeah, Malcolm, that's right. Thanks for raising that point. So, which means what you are asking is, there are also development cost and support cost involved in that. So, there may be tools cost as well, and infrastructure cost, and a lot of cost involved as well. Yes, absolutely right. So, there is a cost benefit analysis where you can add all those details as well. Right, and you have, then it will show you how it has done, and you can edit here and add all your options, the components, and everything here, and it will give you, okay, before automation what is the cost, and how much is the expense, and how much is the benefit, and the net benefit as well. I hope that answered your question. Yeah, thanks.
Yes, thanks.
Thanks. Is there anybody else want to raise your questions? Right. Okay. I think there is no question. Pin drop silence for some time. So it is time to hand over this to Leena and Divyansh to talk about certifications.
Thank you, Rajneesh. Rajneesh, can I share my screen?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, let me stop my sharing. Sorry, yeah, you can go ahead. Thanks.
Thank you. Hope my screen is visible.
Yes, it is.
Okay, great. Hello, everyone. I am Leena Thomas. I'm from the UiPath Learning and Content Development team. I have Divyansh also with me today. We are both part of the Learning and Content Development team. I have been with UiPath for almost 2 years now, and I work as a senior content developer. And today I would like to provide a brief overview about the certification program, the UiPath Certified Automation Business Analyst Certification Program. So let's start with how the certification program would be helpful for a business analyst or an aspiring business analyst. So by going through this certification program, a business analyst would gain a deep understanding about the automation concepts. Like, for example, what is a studio robot orchestrator ecosystem, about the UiPath automation implementation methodology framework. That's the framework that we follow within UiPath for any automation implementation initiatives, and about the roles and responsibilities of an automation business analyst, and what's the UiPath business automation platform, the Discover, Automate, Operate framework, and what are the skills and knowledge that a business analyst would require to implement an automation project successfully. So these are the benefits or the topics that would be covered as part of this certification program. Next, let's look at how to prepare for this certification. So we have all the details regarding this certification program on our website, the UiPath website. So if you go here, you can get a brief idea about what the certification covers, and we have an exam blueprint document also. In this document, the topics which are part of this certification. For example, the exam topics, what are the topics which is covered, and what are the recommended trainings, the academy trainings that you should go through, as well as the documentation links that you should refer to prepare for the certification. And the exam topics, which are part of this document, they were prepared based on the competency mapping process that we have done. Like when we started this project, we did a competency mapping where we interviewed several SMEs and several business analysts, and we were able to identify what are the skills and competencies that would be required for an automation business analyst. So based on those findings, we have prepared this exam blueprint. And to go further, we have available learning plan, which is available on Academy, which is the RPA Business Analyst Foundation Learning Plan. In this learning plan, most of the topics are covered. For example, introduction to automation, about the implementation methodology, and what are the automation business analysis fundamentals. In this course, we are covering an overview about the roles and responsibilities of an business analyst in different implementation methodology stages. And then we are covering an overview about different like technologies, especially in the discovery framework. For example, we have process mining, task mining, task capture, automation hub. So these courses are covered as part of this learning plan. So this learning plan will help you to have a brief understanding and able to prepare well for the certification program. Also, we have a Coursera course, which is available. If you are new to business analysis, then this Coursera course, which was developed by UiPath with partnership with IIBA. So this course will provide you a brief understanding. I would say not even a brief, it will give you a detailed understanding about the business analysis concepts and principles. So if you are new to this domain, this course would really help. So that's more from a training point of view, like how you can prepare for the certification program. And we also have different, for example, in our academy, we have different learning plans. Right now, we are focusing more on trainings which are role-based instead of focusing on product-based training. So if you go to the learning plans that are currently available, you can go role-based trainings, for example, the automation developer learning plan and the citizen developer learning plan. So in case if you have any doubts or any questions while going through these academy trainings, you can reach out to us, Divyansh or me. We will be available as we are part of the academy team. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Lena. That's really informative. So if this video doesn't support, you've done the 4 sessions, and yeah, if still you want more, you can follow Lena Thomas' instructions and get this clear certification.
Yeah,
Clear.
Lena, can you share that document with
Yeah.
me? Yeah, so
Sure.
this document will be posted on the event page of today's session. So you can just go back to the event page and by tomorrow, and you'll find the link which has this document. So you can access this for your reference. You can also directly just go to the certification page of UiPath Academy and find this document there as well. So yeah, I think that is it. Any questions that anyone wants to ask before wrapping up? Anyone? Can be a simple question as well. How many of you started your learning on Academy's BA Foundation course? Yeah, Lena, there is one question. Can you explain what is the difference between the course on Coursera and Academy?
Okay, the Coursera course, let me share my screen. Right now, the content is available. Just a second. Yeah, the Coursera course is not free for learners, like how the academy courses are. If you want to get a certification or a diploma certificate, you have to pay the fees, the course fees. Otherwise, the content is available free. That's the difference.
Yeah, okay. At least I would suggest everyone to just go and just get started on the foundation course on Academy. I think that would be really critical to just put a structure to what Rajneesh has already covered during the series. As you have already attended the sessions, it will be an easy journey for you to go through that entire course, and you will be earning a diploma for free anyway. If anyone is interested to do the foundation, the BA certification, just send that diploma to me, and then I'll be able to help you with the voucher for the same. If that is it, then I think we can wrap up. I don't see any other questions.
Yeah, just final one thing. I really appreciate everybody for being here. So it's 4 session. It's not easy. So it's a great achievement. I request everybody to switch on your camera and
Yes,
clap your
yes,
hands.
if you can please turn on your cameras.
And just one more final request is, tomorrow is the community day. So if you are
Anyone
here,
in Sydney from this group? I mean, just out of curiosity. Two people in the room raising hand. Okay, fine, no worries. So this entire series was hosted in the UiPath Community Sydney chapter. So whatever events that you have registered for, you might have seen Sydney over there. So if you are in and around Sydney, or if you have any colleagues in and around Sydney, please do ask them to join the chapter. And tomorrow we are having an event, so they can also participate in it if they are available to do the same. If you are not in Sydney, if you are in any other city, we would love to host events at your location as well. So if there is an interest, and if you know of people in the region who would be interested to, or who will be benefited from the UiPath community meetups, happy to support in hosting those events in your location as well. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for having this 1 month commitment of 4 sessions. I'm sure it's been a long journey. Really hope to see your diplomas and your certifications going. Whatever you're learning, please do brag about it, and please do post them on social media. It's important for not just for us, even if you don't tag us, it's fine, but for your colleagues, for your networks to know that you are in this journey of learning and growing. I think that would be really helpful for you as well. So that's it. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
See you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Divyansh. Thank you, Lina.
Thank you.